What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Vince McMahon losing control at WWE, Logan Paul renews WWE contract, Matt Riddle character change, another Bloodline member on the way, is Jeff Hardy preparing to return to the ring, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. And now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at Vince McMahon losing control at WWE. At top of today's news is Vince McMahon losing control at WWE. WrestleNomics Brandon Thurston reports, when WWE merges with UFC, Vince McMahon will no longer have majority voting control over WWE or other entities within the new company. We estimate he'll hold about 18% of all shares. This presents a fascinating situation in various ways. The first is that Mr. McMahon will have to get used to working with others. Right now, Endeavor's company line is that the company will let Vince McMahon run the WWE much as Dana White runs UFC. However, McMahon will have to understand he no longer has absolute control over the WWE and can do whatever he wants if Endeavor is unhappy with the WWE's business. The second area of interest is how Endeavor will react if Vince has more scandals, as he did with the hush money revelations of 2022 that led to his quote-unquote retirement. It's unlikely Endeavor is going to give Vinnie Mac the heave-ho, even if another shocking series of events hits the front pages. Finally, no matter what Endeavor is saying, history is full of examples of individuals who were once key players who suddenly find themselves in the cold. Indeed, once a merger goes through and the powers that be decide who is necessary and who isn't, Vince could find himself back in retirement or manning a desk with a fancy sounding title with zero power. Now, I'm not saying that Vince is being put out to pasture, but once the merger goes through, he's going to be in a much different position that he's been used to since buying the WWF 4 decades ago. Next up, Logan Paul renews his WWE contract. There's good news for Logan Paul fans, as Logan has announced he signed a new deal with WWE. The Maverick tweeted, "Contract renewed." Paul recently discussed the challenges of wrestling, saying, "When I'm picking an opponent and I'm at the bottom of this mountain trying to build what I want to be an amazing and entertaining match, these mountains are going to get higher and higher. It's terrifying and incredibly complicated. I don't know how I'm going to keep doing this and upping the bar every time." Rumor has it that Logan Paul could face John Cena at SummerSlam. Next up, rumors on The Rock returning at WrestleMania 40. It's time for another edition of The Rock at WrestleMania Rumors, where we discuss the latest remote possibility that the universe will see The Rock work at WrestleMania. Dave Meltzer discussed this on the Wrestling Observer Radio, saying, "Reigns has pretty much gone through everyone at the top tier on the roster, and with the exception of Gunther or of course The Rock. Dwayne Johnson, when he turned down this year due to schedule, did leave a crack in the door open for possibly doing Philadelphia at WrestleMania 40 next year, but that was far from a commitment and certainly nothing anyone should count on happening. There didn't appear to be any new challenger on the horizon. The WWE would likely love to have The Rock work WrestleMania, not only because he's still considered a huge draw, but because it can book a dream match between him and Roman Reigns whilst also feeding the People's Champ to the Tribal Chief. Now, we hope the WWE doesn't continue booking Roman Reigns in God mode so they can keep him undefeated until he faces The Rock, burying one superstar after another as it's been doing. But at one point, should the WWE ask whether The Rock is actually interested in returning to WWE or whether he's merely giving them a polite maybe? Next up, Matt Riddle character change. Matt Riddle is back, having returned to WWE on the Raw after Mania. Riddle, who's been off TV since December 2022, surprised fans with his long-awaited return, and now there are reports fans could be seeing an edgier version of wrestling's ultimate bro. The WWE appears to be getting behind Riddle's return despite 2 alleged wellness policy violations in 2022. They even released a documentary on Riddle's return on Twitter. Let's follow Matt Riddle as he prepares to make his shocking, unannounced return on Raw after WrestleMania. A Ringside News described some of the 5-minute documentary, saying Matt Riddle was shown on his tour bus speaking candidly to the camera. He explained that he needed to take time off and focus on himself. He had injuries and admitted that he was grinding for so long that he couldn't hit a reset. During the video, Riddle also suggested fans can expect to see a more serious character they saw during his feud with Seth Rollins last summer. "Before I left, I beat Seth Rollins in a fight pit match in the main event of Extreme Rules. Instead of kinda keeping on that ride on, I kinda went back into the goofy Riddle mode. And I feel like this time around, it's still me, I'm always gonna be me, but I wanna bring a more serious side to it. You know, I've been working out a lot, I've been training a lot of jiu-jitsu, I just got my black belt. What do you think of Riddle's comeback and his new persona? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, another Bloodline member on the way? Could the Bloodline be adding another member to Roman Reigns' family faction? Well, there's online buzz after Rikishi, who is a proud papa to the Usos and Solo Sikoa, posting a pictogram on Instagram of another son breaking into the business. Another one. Get ready for, hashtag Toko Uso, Tamika T Fatu, hashtag Fatu Legacy. Ringside News commented, in the post, Rikishi also hashtag Toko Uso, so we have to wonder if he will try to use that name. It's possible Toko might want to use Uso as an indie name, hoping to capitalize on his brothers' stage names. However, could he be the latest addition to the Usos? While this is speculation, the circumstances for Toko's sudden interest in wrestling does raise eyebrows. Ringside News noted Jeremiah Fatu, also known as Toko Uso, was born on August 30th, 1986 and has stayed away from the pro wrestling world until now. Fatu reportedly appeared in a segment on Raw back in '97, which is the only time he spent in the squared circle. Whilst it's possible the Bloodline could be getting a new member and become even more powerful, fans shouldn't rule out the possibility of a Bloodline civil war with the Usos splitting from the group and Roman calling on Toko to help Solo. Next up, does the WWE plans of NXT call-ups? NXT call-ups are a post-Mania tradition, with the WWE often promoting wrestlers from the Black and Gold brand to the main roster on Raw and or SmackDown after Mania. However, that didn't happen this year, leading to questions about wrestlers such as Cameron Grimes, who have reportedly been waiting to jump to Raw or SmackDown. However, a recent report from Cage Side Seats suggests the WWE is waiting to incorporate these call-ups. The assumption, including from the likes of The Observer, is that there will be NXT call-ups in the WWE draft this year. Triple H announced the draft on 7th April SmackDown, informing fans that it would take place in a few weeks. And we have to wonder if the draft was a last-minute decision, as its exact date remains unknown, suggesting it's a work in progress. If so, is this further evidence that McMahon is running creative? After all, Triple H is known for planning things out, so why wouldn't he have a concrete date for the draft to begin before announcing it? While that makes sense, Ringside News is reporting the draft isn't a last-minute thing. Ringside News reached out to inquire about the upcoming draft. We asked how long this has been in motion, or if this was a last-minute plan. We were told that they've been discussing the draft for about a month now. Do you guys think the draft was planned, or is it hastily thought up? Next up, clarification on Bayley leaving. Is Bayley leaving the WWE? That was a concern amongst some Bayley backers after the leader of Damage Control tweeted this after Mania. And sometimes the most romantic love story comes to an end. Bye. Bayley's tweet had people asking whether she was hinting at Damage Control breaking up, or worse, that she was considering an exit from WWE. There were murmurings that Vince McMahon's rumored return to creative led to at least one high-level talent considering their exit. Some fans believed it might be Bayley, especially after she was taken off Raw during Damage Control's appearance. However, WRKD Wrestling is reporting, after causing a lot of speculation and concern last week, Bayley is listed internally as available to use for this week's Raw. Even if Bayley is listed as available to use, that doesn't mean she'll appear on Raw or that she's happy with the company right now. Bayley has brought up how important Damage Control is to her and how she wanted to use the group to help others get over. Imagine Bayley's reaction if the WWE is thinking of splitting the group up. And finally, is Jeff Hardy preparing to return to the ring? Last but not least, some recent comments from Matt Hardy have led to speculation that Jeff Hardy may be getting himself ready to step back into the ring. As noted last week, Matt discussed Jeff undergoing eye surgery and why it was necessary. Jeff just had some eye surgery. His eyes were just a little offset. It's just probably from wear and tear and beating his body up. They had to work on some ligaments and tendons in one of his eye. So they corrected that with surgery and they said probably in 5-6 weeks he should be good. Matt's other comments seem to suggest Jeff could be back in AEW. So I'm hoping after that, now that he's kind of putting this whole situation behind him, that we'll see him back around soon. I'm hoping so, man. You guys keep your fingers crossed. Maybe 6-8 weeks from now, hopefully we can see some Jeff Hardy on AEW. Jeff Hardy has been dealing with the fallout from his arrest for DUI last June. Although the case has been resolved, it's unclear how much interest Jeff has in returning to the ring or whether AEW would be interested in giving him another shot. Even if AEW is interested in having Jeff work, it may be in his best interest to stay out of the ring. Hopefully no one is pursuing Jeff to return to the ring, as it's a decision he needs to think over very carefully. Would you guys want Jeff to come back for one final time? Let us know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.